nowhere. Vault 2 online.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy?
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic.
This is 5 times the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah!
G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is the Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term kayfabe?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
I in the game, I'm champion, and I'm Triple H. Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke, slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, turn like a muscle. If you sell a lot of tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the band, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm the generator, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got two is what you suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, hold another cup. Let's be busy 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. But a square peg in a round hole just never seems to fit.
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Good evening and welcome.
That is amazing.
Longest running wrestling podcast. That's right, it's Wrestle Radio Australia. If you're watching, Lachlan was there, and now he's gone. We just
that is amazing.
And now he's gone.
A message just popped up in our chat going, "You've got to be fucking kidding me."
That was hilarious. Lachlan, if you're around, I hope you can get back in, mate.
He will endeavour to rejoin us.
I'm here.
And here he is.
Jamie, Pario Magazine has just said, Lachlan, dead man walking. Albert, Lachlan, I mean, you're back, but it took you 30 seconds to swear, mate. Come on.
You are comedy timing, my friend. Absolute comedy timing.
We can't hear you, Lachlan. We cannot hear you. I know you're talking, but we can't fucking hear you.
Even better comedy timing.
Dusky is messing with your internet. That's what's going on. With me, as always, is the man who's he's tag teaming with Cope now. He's had a very big day up there in Queensland. Of course, I'm sure we're going to hear about that through the show. Nope, can't hear you. It is the one. It is the one, the only, the best manager ever, Todd Eastman. Todd, how are you going? You're better than Lachlan, that's for sure.
I'm way better than Lachlan. Considering I was the one that's been having problems over the last couple of weeks, I'm doing way better than Lockdog right now. You are. And Lachlan might come back. Who knows? At the moment, he's just this still image if you're watching us on Twitch. Now, do you want to talk about your day now, or do you want to do it after the break? Well, I suppose we could, talk about it while Lachlan's trying to work out his technical difficulties.
Now you had a pretty big day because you were part of the media. Matt Hustway just chimed in with, "This is wonderfully entertaining. Let's just keep Lachlan on mute on purpose." I like the way you think.
If I knew how to do that.
Now you were part of the media contingency day for the AEW show tomorrow night. Tell us a little bit about it,
mate. I will. I'll let you in behind the curtain a little bit more because we didn't even know. Unfortunately, the PR team that handle AEW had forgotten to email us. So we didn't even know this email thing was on. Like the media thing was on there with it. But we were very lucky because Tony messaged Renegade, Tony Storm, by the way, messaged Renegade and said, "Hey, am I going to see you guys tomorrow at the media day?" To which Toby goes, "I'll check with Todd." So Toby messaged me going, "Hey man, if you need a cameraman, I'm free tomorrow for the media day." And I've just gone, "What media day?" Which prompted me to email off, and we got it all sorted really quickly. But it was yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun, considering that we did not know what we were walking into because we were given the time and where it was and but not what it actually was. Because for all I knew, we were just going to be going in there to do one of those, like the presses, like before the show. Tony sits down and maybe answers like 100 questions, and then that's it. That's the end of the show, which is still cool.
Yeah, it's still great.
Yeah,
it's still great. Can I just before we go on, James Cray Official joining us in the chat. It's been a long time, James. Lovely to have you back, mate. Sorry, Todd. Please continue.
That's all right. I'm just seeing Lachlan work his magic there. So we walked in there, and Tony Storm was there, and Kyle was there, and the PR people were lovely, and they were very, very nice, very professional, I haven't got a bad word to say about them. Like that the venue was great because I would like walk in going, "Hi, how are you doing? You guys can set up wherever you want. It's all fine." Tony and Kyle right now are just doing their interview, so when they're free, you can grab them for like however long you'd like. And later on, we've got Cope coming in for you to talk, and then after that, Tony Khan will be dropping by. To which, like, Toby looked at me and went, "Oh," because wow. So, but it was really good, a really good day. They were very accommodating with their time. Very, really good.
Yeah,
I can't say a bad word about it.
I think, and my experience in Perth last year has been spoken about at length on being pretty wonderful, and I think that this year it's synonymous, like across both WWE and AEW. Everyone is lovely and very, very generous with their time. Even Kevin Owens, who has that reputation of being a little prickly, even he was quite lovely and wonderful with his time. Lachlan, do you want to say a word?
Yeah, I do want to say that my whole Kendrick Super Bowl intro that I had planned is out the window, so I'm bummed about that. But look, honestly, I'm just so excited to talk. Obviously, Todd got some excellent time today, but I'm so excited for this weekend when it comes to pro wrestling because we saw it in Perth last year, and now for it to be in Brisbane this year, it's just going to be such a stacked weekend of local stuff, international stuff, all here. And I'm tossing things around. I'm too excited.
It's all falling apart for Lucky.
It is a disaster over here.
I think the word shook is appropriate. Shook.
Oh, shook it.
Now, just peeling back the curtain a little bit, I might host tonight, Lachlan, in case you drop out again, mate. Yeah, I can see the thumbs up. So thank you very much. I have a question for you boys because, Lachlan, as you know, because you made it over to Perth last year for the Elimination Chamber event, WWE pretty much took over Perth. There were signs everywhere. There were posters. There were events everywhere. There were so many events for the Elimination Chamber. Is it similar in Brisbane or is it...
Not even close. Not even close.
No.
If you're not invested in wrestling, you have a good chance of not knowing that it's happening.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's as if, it's the same as if there's a concert on the weekend. Like, the people who are going are excited, but there's, in the general kind of populace, as far as advertising goes, as far as word on the street, it's just not there. Whereas when we were over in Perth, it was seriously like the whole city had become a WWE city. And there is none of that over here at the moment.
And that's a shame. Like, let's hope that it picks up tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. But those, we did interviews with Kyle Fletcher, Tony Storm, Adam Copeland, and Tony Khan, and they will be. I know that at least I know that the Copeland and Tony Khan ones will be going up pretty much after this show. I'll edit them down and I'll put them up on YouTube for everyone to watch. I'm still waiting to get the Tony Storm and the Kyle Fletcher ones from Toby. He's having a bit of a trouble uploading them to me. So once he's done that, I can put those up and they will go up as well. For the ad break tonight, instead of doing our normal things, I'm just going to play like a 2.5 minutes of Adam Copeland, 2.5 minutes of Tony Storm, Tony Khan, just so you get a bit of a taste of the conversations that we had with those two guys.
Fantastic. Apparently tickets are now $50. So it's a shame.
I got a message about that today, like a text from Ticketek.
It's a shame to hear that. And it's also a shame to hear that they haven't taken over the city the way WWE did. And they're doing a Ring of Honor tape, as Alex Feihart's saying.
In saying that, though, and we'll come to the Ring of Honor stuff in a second, but as far as the ticket prices go, I don't necessarily think that's a shock or a disaster, right? Obviously, we were hoping that this was going to be a Suncorp Stadium type event, but I don't think it's unusual for a wrestling show to be filling out the crowd with cheap tickets a couple of days beforehand. Like, I don't necessarily know that it was happening in Perth, but I'm sure that for, a couple of years ago at least, if you'd tried to go to the Royal Rumble, I'm sure that you would have been able to buy tickets the day before at a heavily discounted price, right? Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I know that Tony Storm was doing, like, Hot Tomato, which is the Gold Coast radio station?
Yes.
I'm really keen to listen to that tomorrow because I've tried to embed something into her head to say it, because like one of the hosts of the Hot Tomato Breakfast is Big Trev, so I kept telling her to call him Large Travis, and we're just going to see if that happens when he talks to him.
I know that for the WWE show they were giving a few away through media rather than discounting. So there are a lot of media outlets, and I know this because someone on the Brainier panel was a member of the media and quite prominently, and he was telling me that they had a lot of giveaways through the week to try and up those ticket numbers. So WWE's strategy is I'd rather give 1,000 away for nothing and have those seats full with people who want to be there rather than people who go, oh, it's $20 a ticket, we'll just go and who cares. So I think that's kind of a good strategy.
Well, that's like back in the day. I was at work and one of the guys on day shift, an afternoon shift guy came in and said Bon Jovi were playing at the Adelaide football park, it was called back in the day. So they were playing there, and they just announced on Triple M they discounted their tickets to $20 because it was happening tonight. And so like my friend and I went. So it was like $20 to go and see Bon Jovi. I'll pay that. So like it's not out of the way. Like everyone else does it. So and who knows how many like tickets there are left? Maybe there's only like 400 or 500 tickets left, and like fuck it, let's just clear them.
I was a uni student doing some work for record companies, and I walked into Warner Brothers and the music division of Warner Brothers, and there were a stack of concert tickets on the desk, and I said, oh, what are they? And they said, oh, it's for Matchbox 20. It's tonight. Do you want to go? Here's 4 free tickets. And they were great. Like,
wow, Matchbox 80.
They were really good. Anyway, what else was really good and what did take over a city was Riot City. They took over for ReAnimated 20. This was a fantastic show. I thought this was great. Let's go through the card. We have one of the wrestlers in our chat tonight, but let's open the show. We had Banjo Powers, Down Under, and the champ, Nick Armstrong, defeating Katie Trey and SWAT 1 and SWAT 2. Lachlan, what were your thoughts on this match, mate?
That SWAT 2's a big bastard, isn't he? I thought that this was a real, like we talked about SWAT not that long ago in that, you've got someone with Katie Trey who is such a charismatic guy whose character can so clearly lead a group of faceless men that you don't really have to worry about, all of that stuff. If you've got guys under the mask who maybe don't have a full character to land on yet, and then the other side of it, that absolutely chaotic team that, draw 3 wrestlers out of a hat from Riot City and there's your team, are all guys that we love watching work, that have got fun gimmicks that go along with great in-ring work. I know, especially on this podcast, we've been quite hype on Down Under for some time. And seeing him get a little bit of a shift in the character, going down there, he's the sheriff, he's, working under the GM for law enforcement. That's a fun twist on the gimmick that still lets him be an Aussie battler while having a little bit more going on. And that lets him be in there with the silliness of the champ and hashtag hard and all that. I thought this was great fun and just a fun way to open the show with characters, wrestlers, good in ring. It was all good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Todd, your assessment, mate.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Lockie was saying there. There are like the 3 on the babyface side are relatively. It's like 3 guys that hang on. We haven't actually got a program for them right now, so let's put them in this, and they can do something. They can hype the crowd up. They can get themselves over, and like Katie's not going to lose anything because we're just going to pin one of SWAT, so he can get all the heat for him, and then they can get it. It was a nice little piece of business. Every time I watch Katie, I'm still like, he's grown so much. As someone that I've watched since like day dot, and I'm so very proud of like when I see him work now, and I'm like, that kid got it. He's got it. He knows he's got it up there. Like, and it's it's really good to see. I enjoyed that match as an opener. It was really good for an opener.
I want to say as well, sorry to interrupt, Jeff, in terms of Katie Trey, it's nice to have one of those guys who, was up there at the top of the card doing the champion thing, but obviously is such a character that he can hold his own in a storyline without needing a prop, because it means that it makes a card that much easier to put together with something interesting up and down. Right? You often end up in these situations, I think, when you see shows where clearly there's a title story and there's a tag team story, and then it's like, and what are we going to do with the rest of the card? Riot City are obviously really good at telling stories, but when you've got a guy with the character strength of Katie, you know that part of it's going to be covered by him, which is so nice. And it's great to have a guy who's reliably entertaining without the belt.
Yeah, and also he's sort of like wrapped up his thing with Amber as well. So it's like, like he's another one who like we don't really have a story from right now. So we'll have him do this.
But I agree with you completely about Katie Trey. I think there's one person on the face team you didn't talk about, and that is the champ Nick Armstrong. I think particularly at Riot City, he is now at the point where he is so entertaining, the crowd will just not boo him no matter what he does. So, which is great. And we're beginning to see a little, the tongue, the strut, everything. It all works. We're beginning to see a little bit of that at MCW as well. Like he gets an initial pop because everyone loves the song, everyone loves the attitude, and then the match starts and they boo him, which is really funny. So eventually he's going to be a face because it's inevitable that he turns face. The thing I really like about Katie and the SWATs is it can go in so many directions and it can be satisfying no matter what. I think it speaks volumes for Katie Trey that essentially he's doing a JBL gimmick, but is so entertaining that he's pulling it off flawlessly.
I mean, there's going to be a time where he walks out being cocky and the 2 SWAT guys take off their masks and it's like Banjo and Down Under.
Yeah.
Standing behind him.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to happen. And when it does, it's still going to pop you, even though you know it's coming, because it's just good wrestling stuff. It's just good wrestling.
Great. It's great. I also want to shout out Down Under's Mo. What a magnificent,
flawless.
Second best Mo in Aussie wrestling behind Jamie.
I was going to say, are you saying that just because Jamie's gone now?
Yeah, Jamie's gone. It's safe. He'll listen to this tomorrow anyway. He's going to be on a plane. He's got nothing much to do, so we'll probably give it a listen. After that, we had as featured in the chat, James Craig defeating Kai Toa and Red Smash 2. Todd, what were your thoughts on this one?
I love how far Kai Toa has come along. So I know I said that about Katie, but Katie, for me, has come along since I've known him since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. You know what I mean? I've known him since he was a baby. Same as James, really. I've known James since he was fresh out of the wrestling womb. So, to see the growth is like James literally looks like a grizzled vet now.
Yeah,
when he comes out, which is good. It's good to see. I like the fact he's just like he looks like he can handle himself when he gets in the ring. Like not necessarily chiseled out of granite. You don't have to be a wrestler. You just have to look like you can handle yourself. He looks like a
shit kicker. I love his look.
Yeah, he looks like he can handle himself.
I think
Kai Toa,
just on that thought, I think James is very much a throwback, and I like that. He would have been fine going toe to toe with Dick Murdoch. Like he's got that kind of build, and you'd go, yeah, I could buy that.
Yeah, and Kai Toa, I know Kai Toa is really breaking into Melbourne lately, and which is good because you guys are going to see someone who's really got a lot of potential. That kid. I know he's going to be on the Aus Pro Wrestling show coming up. So if you're going to that, go and check him out because he's got a lot of potential. And it still amazes me that they've given the Red Smash 2 gimmick to somebody and that person's actually running with it. Because like I said, when we first started, Red Smash 2 was someone that if we needed one of the veteran guys to like general a match and we don't want to waste them as the character, we'll give him the Red Smash costume. But like the fact that this guy has taken it and run with it and is like it's still over as a character. So
I think it's really he's so good.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Like, but it's also like it's a great for a lot of people. It's great to have a gimmick where you're under a mask because you can hide someone for an amount of time to get a bit of greenness out of them, and then you take the mask off them when they're ready. So, and then that could be what they're doing with the Red Smash, or they could be just like, I've really just wanted to be a luchador, so can I have a mask gimmick? So, either way, I think he's got a lot of potential.
Lachlan,
Todd, I fully agree with what you said about each of the guys in the match, but I also think the way this match was put together was really fun. I often get frustrated with triple threat matches because it ends up it's guy A versus guy B, and then guy B rolls out and it's A versus C, and then A rolls out and it's B versus C, and rinse and repeat. Whereas in this, they did a really good job of keeping entertaining things going on with all three guys intermittently throughout the match. Early on in the match, that suplex that James Craig did on Red Smash with Kaitoa in the Tree of Woe, like that was excellent. That's a way to go. Here's some really simple moves that look just disgusting when you do them together. But obviously the highlight of the match was Cray having Red Smash in an electric chair and Kaitoa going off the top rope into a Canadian Destroyer. Like, that's unreal. That's a thing you can only do in a triple threat match that I've never seen before. I understand the mechanics of how it works, but it still blew me away when it happened, and I had to rewind it and watch it multiple times. Like, I think it was a very well-constructed match.
I'm pretty sure, and maybe James might know, I couldn't be 100%, but I'm pretty sure that was a finisher that the New Heart Foundation used to use. Like with Davey Boy.
There you go.
And what's his name? The Teddy Hart. Pretty sure they used to use that move in MLW.
Oh, back Teddy Hart. Okay. Yeah.
The crazy one.
Possibly, yeah.
It is indeed.
James Craig confirming.
James is saying.
Look at me with the big brain. Huh?
With the MLW knowledge. Wow.
I love this. I thought this was great. It could have gone on for a couple more minutes and I would have been as equally entertained as I was. I think all three played their roles really, really well. To the point where James came out as the heel and the crowd actually popped when he won. So I don't think they cared which of the three came out with a victory because they enjoyed the match. And that speaks volumes to all three.
I think that was probably more of a case of them popping for the match than for who actually won.
Yeah,
if
possibly.
you know what I mean.
Possibly. You could be right there. So well done, James, and well done to Kai Toa and Red Smash 2. It's Lachlan. Red Smash 2 is Lachlan.
Don't tell them.
I'm sorry. You keep saying you got smashed. So that's what I think you're talking about. After that, we had big meaty men slapping meat. It was Redshaw defeating Einar the Strange in just a tad over 9 minutes. Lachlan, what did you think of that?
I liked that they used the exposed turnbuckles to have a win here, because these guys are both, the type of characters that you want to look intimidating and hard to put down. And they really did that. I think, they said Redshaw was the first person to ever kick out of Einar's finisher or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or, really good at having a match without making either of these guys look easy to beat. And I like when big dudes hit each other hard, and this was big dudes hitting each other hard. I've got a real soft spot for Redshaw. I think he's really fun to watch. And I like having Einar back as a singles guy. I think it's, fun to have a weird and wacky character out there. And they showed off what they are both good at in this match. I thought it was great fun.
Todd?
Yeah, it was very much like when they, as soon as they started, I'm like, okay, this is the Sheamus match of the night.
Yeah.
Because that's what, I see those two, I could see them just going for the next 3 or 4 shows. We're just going to put you two up against each other for 10 minutes, go out there and beat the shit out of each other. And if there's somebody else that's on their roster that they know can throw a little bit of bones, maybe B.O.B., put him in one of those as well, and then just have them big meaty men smack a meat for 9 minutes, because you need that as a sorbet for the rest of the card when you've got stuff like Canadian destroyers off someone's shoulders, and you've got Banjo Power. When you've got that sort of type of stuff, just having two guys going out there and throwing bones is kind of needed for a show, because it's that mix. So not everything is the same all the way through. So I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think Redshaw is so talented and so good at what he does that there is a high level of entertainment into everything that he produces. I think that the only thing I'm going to say about this match, I get why big feuds start with the punchy punch, but I think it's getting tired. Like that I call it the Owen Zane punchy punch, where you just walk up and you're wailing on the guy for 30 seconds. I get what you mean, but I think when you've got two characters like that, like this, it's excused, because that's just what those two characters would do. Yeah.
They wouldn't circle each other and lock up. They wouldn't fucking go for a necktie. They wouldn't they just throw bones.
Yeah. And I'm fine with it, but my comment is more I'm getting tired of it. If you know what I'm saying. It was good.
You can't do it. You can't do it in every match, but for guys like this, I have no problem with it at all. I understand completely what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
I'm over that whole the whole strong style thing at the moment.
Yeah,
the chop. Take a couple of steps back. Hey, you chop me. Chop. Take a couple of steps back. Okay, you chop me. Because in my writing, me, if I was ever fighting someone, I would not let anyone have an open shot at me. I'd be like, go and hit me. And when he does, counter that shit, because I know it's coming. That to me, it makes no sense. I get it, the whole strong style gimmick, but it just takes me out of it a bit. Whereas stuff like this with these guys, there was none of that. It was just I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Otherwise, it was a great match. It really was.
Yes.
It really was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
We appear to have lost Lachlan. I didn't see Edward Dust behind him, but who knows what happened. From there, we have our RCW tag team match, the Kings of Ruin, and this started a great running joke. Matt, I should read this. Matt says 100% agree, Todd. It's become a joke now. Completely disengages me from a match. Yeah, I would agree with. Well, we're both making valid points here. So
Yeah.
And one thing I don't like is when Gunther does it. Like Gunther will do a chop and someone else will go, yeah, come on, hit me. Gunther's chops are fucking lethal. Let him absolutely destroy you. But we'll talk.
You know what,
that.
though? And I know this is probably me being contrarian. I actually probably don't mind that. Because everyone knows that Gunther's chops are lethal. So them going in there going, I can fucking take your chops, pal. Come on. I'm not like these rest of these guys. Fucking give me a crack. You know what I mean? There's always exemptions to every rule, I think.
I'm fine with that as long as when they chop him, when Gunther chops the guy, he just fucking completely depletes, just rolls over.
Depending on who it is. Like if he's chopping Dom, I want Dom to do a 360.
Yeah.
If he's chopping Sheamus can take that shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, case by case.
If he's chopping Drew can take that shit.
Yeah.
If he's chopping Ray shouldn't wake up till WrestleMania.
Right, WrestleMania 50. Anyway,
yeah.
As I was saying, after that, and you know, it's an interesting debate. The tropes in wrestling that are a little bit overused. After that, we had the RCW Tag Team Title match, which started a really fun trope through the night. I might add, a really fun running joke. The Kings of Ruin in Havoc and Mike Boomer defeated the Old Guard, specifically new Old Guard member Mr. Cliff and Grim. Mr. Cliff took some red mist to the face from Havoc. What did you think of this?
I'm probably going to be a little bit critical, so maybe you talk about what you thought of it first.
I really was so entertained by this. I was entertained by the crowd popping for Mr. Cliff to get a tag and Grim refusing to tag. I was entertained by the chemistry. I mean, Havoc and Boomer are so good and have so much chemistry and obvious fun out there. And I think that Cliff has really grown as a wrestler and is really becoming something quite special. It's always good to see him get his ass kicked. And speaking of someone getting their ass kicked, Lachlan is now threatening to go to Telstra and kick their ass. But no, look, I thought this was a very entertaining match. Grim is never bad. Like Grim is never ever bad. Boomer is never bad, and Havoc is never bad. Cliff still has a way to go in ring. But for me, here you go, Locke. For me, he makes up for that with his character work. His character work is so fun, and he's going to become a face because the crowd want to see him win.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Okay, so yeah, I understand where they're going with this, where nobody else applied for the job.
Yeah.
So Cliff sort of got it, but I don't know if I want my big heel, like NWO, destroying people left, right, and center, having comedy. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I get what you're saying, and I totally understand it. But I just want them to, if they were going to put somebody else in the squad in like that, I would pick someone else who is another young killer, like Dean is. Instead of, go on.
I have one word for you. Actually, 3 words. Bloodline, Sami, Zayn. It works. And Cliff is in the Zayn role.
Cliff is in the Zayn. Yeah, he might be, but that was when they already had 16 people in the bloodline. There's only 3 people. I don't know what's happened with, I can't remember what his name was now. He hasn't been on the show for a while now. Maybe he's not there anymore. He was one of the original members of...
Alex Fiehart, they've asked a pertinent question. Do you think it'd be fine if it doesn't last too long? I think so.
Yeah, possibly. I just, I think... And I get what you're saying about Sami. And I think Sami is an exceptional case. Whereas he can pull off being uber serious dude as well. Whereas Mr. Cliff's not exactly there yet, where he could pull off being uber serious guy right now. Because the way they're built, he hasn't won a match in 40 meetings, 40-0, 0-40. So I mean, there's that, and I understand they did it just so they could get it. Like he did it just so like Grimm could have his title match and all of that jazz, and that's cool. But I just like if I was going to have somebody else join the old guard, it wouldn't be someone who is a comedy guy. And that's just me. That's just me. Maybe I'm completely out of like the loop here when it comes to it. But I want everyone on that team at the moment, because there's only a certain amount of them, to be killers. And then you can bring someone in later, like a hanger on that just comes around all of a sudden. What's he doing here?
I'm fine with it. It's been 2 years. And I think that at this point, it's a thing of you need to have within the storyline, you need to have something to change the group up. This might be a way to not turn Mr. Cliff face, but might be a way to turn, say, Dean Brady face. Or Grimm. Oh, not Grimm, because Grimm's just turned heel.
Yes.
Or Basso himself, Matty face. Because, not Matt, Chris. Because what could happen is someone could go to beat up Cliff and one of them steps up and goes, no, you don't do that. I'm actually with this guy now. Like, I think there's so many ways you could do it. You know, you and I have often, and Lachlan as well on this, have often said that we need to see a story play out to know where it's going.
Yeah.
Let the story play out. I trust the guys at Riot City Wrestling. They do great work. There is a reason we selected them to be the partner at WrestleBrania, because they do great work. We know we've got some great characters coming. So, you know.
Yeah. It's just the way, I guess it's my booking philosophy. Like if I was going to put a guy in there, it would put a guy in there after that and then have him keep trying to help and it screws up. But I would have probably given him a few wins before I did this. Not already have, like, why in there, right? And I understand that nobody else applied, but still, why would they say, okay, we'll have this guy who's never won a match in the group that we say we're elite?
It makes it interesting. It makes it fun. He's not there to win the match. He's there to eat the pin. And everyone knows it. And that's part of the joy. He is.
I can see that we're going to be at an impasse with this.
Yeah. And that's great. Isn't that wonderful? Because we both have valid points. I can see what you're saying. You can see what I'm saying. And you know, I think it's great. I'll I'm there for it. I can't wait for the fringe shows. Unfortunately, I'm in Adelaide after the fringe shows are completed, so I won't get to see them live. But geez, it's going to be a lot of fun. But what did you think of the match itself?
Oh, the match was fun. It's always going to be good when you've got like Boomer, Havoc, and Grimm in there. Doesn't matter what Mr. Cliff done. And the way they booked the match, where like Grimm was constantly trying to get him out of the ring. Like, get out of the ring! I can do this. No, you can't. Get out of the ring. Like, and I've had Matty talk to me like this before, and I know it can scare the shit out of you.
Oh God, yeah.
Out there rolling around and yelling. It's very intimidating.
He's a big boy.
But no, I like the match, and really, for like the Kings of Ruin, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt them at all because they're just defending their titles. But yeah, I don't know how it did for the old guard in like my critical opinion.
I completely understand that. I do. I get what you're saying. And the nice thing is you seem to get what I'm saying. Like, we're not actually disagreeing on the direction.
I'm not going to cuss you out about it. I'm just saying this is my point of view. I can see your point of view as well.
Yeah, and I can see yours. One thing I did enjoy seeing, there we go, that's a Lachlan transition, was Zach Sabbath going up against our most improved wrestler of the year last year, the big boy Dean Brady. Matt Husway, what is disrespectful, pleasant discourse and disagreement? What kind of wrestling podcasters are you? Well, you know, you'd hope. We're not those turnbuckle up, no.
No.
You were on there this week.
I was on there this week. They're quite nice lads.
That's fine. I'm talking about Tony. Anyway, Zach Sabbath with Mike Boomer, went up against Dean Brady, of course, with Mr. Cliff, who took another faceful of mist. I'm gonna talk about this first. I think if you were going to put Cliff in 3 matches, you move one earlier in the night. I think the problem was that by the end, he was a little bit overexposed because he was there all the time. I think if they opened with this, great. But still, as a match, you are not going to get a bad match with Zach Sabbath and Dean Brady supplying the in-ring action. You are not going to get a bad match at all. And this certainly didn't disappoint. Your thoughts, Todd?
Yeah, I love that they keep the Emerald Crown rules where there's the time limit and the time's still up on the board for the whole match. I love that. I really love Dean's pacing. Like, it really hit me watching this match. Not so much with Delta and that, because I guess there's a bit of emotion there when I'm watching that match, because you can tell that there's emotion between those two in those matches.
Yeah.
But when it's a match like this where there's no real emotions in it, and you can just watch it for what it is, like a wrestling match, I really noticed how Dean now knows how to take his time in the right way.
Yeah.
And his pacing, and like Zach is a consummate professional, has been for a long time and been overlooked in Australian wrestling for a long time. You say that about a lot of people in Australian wrestling. But Zach is one of the premier wrestlers in this country. And Dean is very quickly becoming one of the premier wrestlers in this country, just through experience, ring time, getting to know when he should do something and when he shouldn't, getting to know like when he should pick up the pace or when he should just like slowly stalk the person and let them feed up to him and let them fight back as a baby face. And these are all things that it sounds easy when I'm saying it, but when they're in practice, they are quite hard when you're out there, because a lot of times you don't realize if you're going too fast or too slow. You just, it's weird. But he seems to now, at least in this match, he has hit upon that right formula where he knows his timing perfectly. And I enjoyed this match because I can enjoy the work of both of these guys, and I can see how like just fucking professional they are. Like, this is the nicest way I can say it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you to the point where I want to see this run back again anytime. Like, if you were to say to me, hey, the crew from Renegades, X has happened and there's a match that's been scrapped, but we're going to put on Zach Sabbath against Dean Brady, I would be just fucking like, great. Yeah, let's go. These guys were both fantastic. They're talking a bit about Zach Sabbath as though he is like, let's be honest, Zach Sabbath has less days in front of him than he does behind him. And I hope that he, A, gets the flowers he so rightly deserves, and B, gets...
Well, he's up there this weekend, so...
Great.
It's going to be good to see him on the Super Show. So
yeah, he deserves to be on. They both are.
Yeah, if you have tickets, you're in for a treat for these guys that you mightn't have seen live.
And B, gets booked in more spots. Like, I'd love to see Zach doing some more work in Melbourne. It's a bit hard because I know he's got a young family as well.
Yeah, you know what it is, though, and I was thinking about this the other day. We always, especially on this show, we always say, this guy should be booked in more places. This guy needs to get out more. This guy needs to be booked in blah, 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 blah. We don't know if this guy is actually trying to.
Yeah.
And making the contact. And I'll say this because I know we have a lot of wrestlers that listen to the show. Like, if you want to get experience, you need to contact these people because they're not going to contact you.
Well, they're
just not.
You look
because
at
there's enough people around the country.
You look at the Don. I think the Don is quite happy, predominantly working in Perth. Yes, he's working tomorrow night in Brizzy, but he's quite happy, predominantly working for the two companies in Perth and killing it, like just being phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal,
I think. Sorry, but I think what like triggered that thought for me was last week when we were talking about the Super Show. They were talking about the State of Origin. And someone said something about Tasmania, and I'm pretty sure no one from Tasmania even reached out to Pro League. So if they're not reaching out, then like we have 1,000 people that reached out. Like I'm sure MCW have a lot of people that reach out to the point where they're not going to go, I know like X, Y, and Z are reaching out to me and they're really good workers, but I want Jeff Steady. So I'm gonna message him out of the blue.
Well, it's the same with us. It's the same with us. If you turn around to us and you send us messages and you show a bit of personality and spark, then you're going to sort of appeal more to us than not, you know. And we are now, like, as you've seen yourself, Todd, Brainier is now at the point where, you know, we're breaking through with wrestling companies and people want to work with us. So, you know, it's the same. It's exactly the same with us.
But my message is for you guys out there, and you're really like you're going, I'm working really hard. I'm just not getting any of the just not getting any, and no one's messaging me or asking me for bookings. Well, they don't have to. Message them, ask them, say, hey, I'm looking for a booking. If you really want to break into it, and then say it's an interstate booking, say, hey, look, I'm willing to fly myself over just so you can see me. And I know that sounds like, well, if they want us, they'll pay for my flights, because that's really not realistic in today's economic climate.
No.
But
and
if
as
you want
James
the
Craig
experience
said,
and you want to get out there.
As James Craig said, it doesn't hurt to ask the question, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. And if they say no, at least you've made an impression. You write back 3 months later and go, hey, I wrote you a couple of months ago. Can we have a chat? Is there anything I can do? There's nothing more flattering to people than having them go, than having you say to them, I really want to be on your show. I know I don't have the profile yet. What can I do to take steps to put my foot in the door? My advice is...
I know I have guys like going, I'd really love to be on your show, blah, blah, blah. And I will just be like, look, if you're ever coming up to Brisbane and it's around the time of a show, let me know. I'll have you on. But a lot of times financially, it's just not possible.
Well, I know from conversations with you, the tag champs, the junior tag champs were in Brisbane, which is why you booked them. You know what I mean? Like,
they were,
you can't afford to just fly people up. But my pursuant to that advice I gave you about, you know, have the conversation about how you can get on the show. Don't do it at the show. Don't go up to bookers at the show and go, how do I get on here? Because I can tell you for a fact, I bumped into the MCW booker after a show. We shook hands. We said hi. And he goes, I've got to keep going. Excuse me. Lovely to meet you. If I was a worker asking for a spot, he'd have every right to tell me to get fucked.
Yeah. I mean, like, if somebody did that to me at a show, I'd be like, message me. Message me with maybe something like, if I didn't know who they were, I'd be like, message me with something, with a match of yours or something I can look at, and I'll get back to you. But so, let's move on.
Let's move on.
For
a great match. CBTM of Snacks and Vincent Di Maria defeated the incredibly entertaining Alchemist Alliance of Dr. Richard Guda and Jet Armstrong with Jimmy C in 11 minutes and 24 seconds. Shout out to that suit that Jimmy C was wearing. That looked absolutely incredible. Richard Guda is my favourite name in Australian wrestling. That's almost certain. What did you think of this one, Todd?
For starters, I love the name. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, CBTM, what the fuck does that mean? But when they explained it on commentary, like, could be the move, I'm like, that's awesome. I love that shit. Because, like, I don't know how many times that we've said it to our mates. What do you want to do tonight? You want to go and play some pool? Nah, could be the move. It's so, like, Love that stuff. I don't know. I think it went too long. It went for 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes. I don't think that the team of Snacks and Vincent should have that much trouble with Richard Guda.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Because
True.
I don't think he's a wrestler. He's still a manager type. And I know it's part of the storyline with Brody and all of that, and that was entertaining as well. But like, I just don't think that they should have that much trouble with him. Fair enough with Jet, because Jet is a consummate professional, been around for years, really good worker. But once they get Guda in there, that should be like, as Shaq used to say when he had a small guy backing him down on the post, that's barbecue chicken. Give that to me all day. I'm going to finish this real quick. You know what I mean? Like, when he gets in the ring, that's barbecue chicken. The match should be over.
I agree with you to a point. And here's what I'm going to, because I'm Lachlan tonight, clearly. Yeah. We'll fix that at the break. Don't worry about it. And Lachlan is still having trouble, so I don't think we're going to get to see him tonight, unfortunately. I think that it was fine going 11 minutes and 24, but Guda should have cheated more. We should have seen him really heel it up and kind of, get shit that was dirty and low blows, distracting the referee, like a lot more of that, really layer it on. And then I think you can justify the 11 minutes 24.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, because of the way it was done, it went too long.
I think as a straight wrestling match, yes, it was probably about 5 minutes too long. But if you're going to make it 11 minutes, let Guda rake eyes and scratch and do all the old school.
Bobby Heenan. You do Bobby Heenan in these matches.
Yeah. And he runs.
You rake an eye, you scratch your back, you go to pick him up, he punches you in the stomach, and you run over and tag out again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Completely agree with you, Todd. Completely agree with you. But I find the character and the name, what a name. Great name. I find the character of Dr. Richard Guda and also his team with Jet and Jimmy C so entertaining that it almost it doesn't make you forgive, but it makes you go, it gets a bit of a pass. It wasn't great, I agree. I think that, as Guda stands at the moment, they could have trimmed it a little bit, but still entertaining. What was very entertaining, like so good. Goodness gracious, every time I see Chris Basso and Mickey Fortune in isolation, I'm amazed at how fucking good they are. And you put them together and you've got Dynamite in the ring. I was just so entertained by this. And once again, Mr. Cliff took some mist, which was, it was kind of funny. But as I said, if they reposition one of the matches and had it at the beginning, it works a bit better. But so entertained by this. Mickey Fortune is so good at being a sympathetic babyface. Yeah. And Chris Basso just looks awesome in his role right now. I said earlier that maybe the whole Mr. Cliff thing is leading to one of the old guard turning. Don't make it Basso. Don't make it the Bassos. Keep them as heels. Because Chris is just so good at being that cocky, shit-eating grin champion. And it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to take that belt off him. And I think that as a heel, is an awesome position to be in. What were your thoughts, Todd?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, I have a whale-sized soft spot for Chris, just because of how long I worked with him myself in Riot City. And I got to see him every month up close, how very good he is. It's just he's such a smart worker. It annoys me almost how smart he is, as a worker, and just the way he knows, very much like I said with Dean, that pacing. He knows his pacing. He knows how to stalk that baby face and give that baby face time to come up. And Mickey is, like you said, great sympathetic baby face. Also, great fired up babyface. When she's coming on her, when she's got her comeback and she's fired up, that like there's a lot of people that then when they do that, you're like, okay, yeah, you're excited. Wow, here comes the fire up. When she does it, you actually think she's really friggin' angry and she's coming after this guy now because of everything that he's done to her for the past 5-10 minutes. So this is really great. Not always a massive fan of finishing shows with DQs, but this is obviously leading somewhere because they're big shows. Their big shows are their friend shows.
Yeah.
So it's obviously leading somewhere with that. So I can kind of excuse it. But really enjoyed this match. But how could you not when you've got two people as good as like Mickey and Chris? You can't.
Yeah. You couldn't fault this show. This is a near perfect show. The comedy worked, the character work worked, and there's a nice little coda at the end of the show because when the Alchemist Alliance lost, their punishment was they had to clean the floor on their hands and knees. And after the show, it was just the two of them goofing off a little bit. And it was so nice. It was so nice. I adored this show. I am such a big fan of Riot City Wrestling and everything they're doing at the moment. And
you know how we reviewed a show a while ago of theirs and this was a bit of a filler show. This was sort of like all these matches were short because they did this, do that. This wasn't that. This is very much like it sounds weird to get. It feels like Stella got a groove back because this show was great from top to bottom.
Well, the shortest match was Redshaw and Einar the Strange, and rightfully so because they beat the shit out of each other, and it's had over 9 minutes. So I was very, very, very impressed with this show, and I think that I'm so looking forward to seeing what Riot City do. What I really liked to see from Riot City, and we've seen it because Azaria's been gone for almost a year, and they haven't lost a step.
No.
They haven't lost a step. They lost one of the most important wrestlers in the company and haven't lost a step. Andy from Bob Vance Refrigeration says, as always, it's tough to ignore the comparison with Wrestle Rampage when the shows go up in the same week. And once again, delaying the broadcast made it perfectly. To make it perfect is absolutely the right call. The production is flawless. Yes, it is. Shout out to the editing team who do those amazing videos. The commentary team are really good. Just lovely.
Yeah. The way they do it, it is easy to just jump in on a Riot City show and know what's going on in the storylines because of what they do. Like even the stuff with Einar, who hadn't been around for ages, and Redshaw, the package going to that, I was like, okay, so I know who these two are. The package with Mickey and Chris before their match, you're like, okay, this is what's led up to this match.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's like, my hat's off to Rampage for trying the live streaming thing. It's fucking hard. And like you can talk to anyone from PWA and they'll tell you it's friggin' hard to do. And that's why MCW don't do it because it's hard to do. And if they want to get until they have everything where they want it, where it's absolutely like Mickey Mouse perfect, they're not going to do it. They're going to release it like a couple of days later, which is a smart move for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the overall package of RCW very much rival the production values of PWA.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Look, I thought this was a terrific show, and I look forward to seeing what Riot City do this year, as well as seeing what they do on the WrestleBrania stage. Just putting it out there. I mentioned that we did have a discussion in our chat, and I sort of said, can we make it Riot City? Because obviously, a month from tonight, I'll be landing in Adelaide to hang out with those guys for the weekend. The talent we have is incredible. We've moved things around. There's been some changes, which is why we've kind of not put that video up yet, because we've got some incredible announcements to come. And a couple of people who are in this show, of course, are going to be having a lot of fun with us over the weekend of the 14th to the 17th of March at Arthur's Art Bar. There we go.
It would also be it'd also be remiss of us to not mention too that this is again free on YouTube. You can go and check it out. If you're listening to this on podcast, it will be the link to the show will be in the description, as we do for every show that we review. There's always a link in the description. So if you've gone back and you go, oh, they watched this show and I couldn't find it on YouTube, just go into the podcast, go into the description. You'll find the link there to the shows. We do that now with every show we review.
And it's also worth saying that a lot of Right City Wrestling shows are on YouTube. Like, they've got a huge back catalogue and they're all free on YouTube and they're all great. They tell excellent stories with great characters. And so, you know, we'll see what happens there. But other companies in Australia tell great stories, including the brand new Aus Pro Wrestling. And we looked at their first show a few weeks ago and we were so incredibly entertained. Their second show at the Ringwood Community Centre, reaching the brass ring on Sunday, March 2. The tickets for that are moving like wildfire. I know that for a fact.
I know they have announced some matches here and I haven't put them in the rundown. I apologise. I've just been flat out this week.
So have I, but I know they've got some great matches, and we're going to see more from Aus Pro Wrestling in 2025.
I think, like one off the top of my head is Big Rig against Kaitoa, who you see tonight on thing. That for you guys that are going to Aus Pro Wrestling, you're in for a treat with Kaitoa. Great young wrestler.
Yeah, and his lordship has watched wrestling for a long time. This is the second wrestling company he's involved in, and he's always watched and seen who he wants to put on a show, and he doesn't put bad people on. Like we saw that in the first show, just an excellent rundown. Owen Steadman, definitely one to watch. We also need to talk about on Sunday, March 9th, Renegades of Wrestling. We Are Renegades 2025. A bit later, it's at 7 p.m. The doors will open at 6. It's a family-friendly event. Indy Hartwell making her first appearance in Australia in a wrestling ring in 6 years. 6 years. I believe Asia is feeling some heat right now. I believe that.
Listen to On the Turnbuckles this week.
Yeah, the
she was a special guest.
The Turnbuckle Boys told me that there's a bit of heat on there. The Renegades of Wrestling World Championship in a triple threat match. Levi Nixon, Emin Usman, and Mitch Waterman, and the Renegades Rumble competitors to be announced. On that, no, I won't say anything because it'll lead to a spoiler. But if you're on social media, you'll know. Actually, I will. Fuck it. You'll know that Emin is about to leave our shores. For a while.
We talked about that on the Turnbuckle as well, so it's been spoiled. So.
It's been spoiled. Emin, thank you so much, mate. You've been a joy to watch. From the guy that a lot of people were going, holy shit, how does he do that? To one of the country's most incredibly consistent workers. Thanks, Emin. All the best, mate, and I hope you come back soon.
Yeah, I'm I guess a little bit of a preview or a spoiler. We're going to set up a little almost studio tomorrow at Eaton's Hill. So we're going to try and get as many people that are on the Super Show for about 5 or 10 minutes to have a chat with them. I'm really hoping we can catch up with them and have a chat with him.
Yeah.
So, keep your eyes glued to that coming up in the next week or two because that's something that Lachlan and I have been talking about for a couple of weeks. We got sort of the approval from Pro League and Renegade, so we're going to set up a little mini set and do just some interviews to record for you guys to be able to listen to and be able to hear a lot of the people that are on the Super Show.
Emin posted a really heartfelt message on his socials announcing his departure. It is indeed a bummer of a situation, and I am sure you are going to hear one hell of a fucking pop on the 9th of March for that young man, and I'm so happy to call him someone I consider a friend and a really nice bloke. And Emin's lovely, and in fact, the Ambush guys are great. So, I hope that the Ambush thrive and survive with a new head. Who knows? And, of course, the Renegades Rumble, which is always a lot of fun. This year's Renegades Rumble is taking place on March 9 at the Northcote Theatre. Do not miss out. Tickets are moving pretty quickly. This will be Emin's last Aussie show, which will be a crying shame. Of course, more matches will be announced for that soon. MCW Anniversary March 15 at the Thornbury Theatre. Tickets are on sale now, mcwtix.com.au. They are moving quickly as well. Matches announced so far. There's Erica Reid is going up against Shay Cassidy as well. That was added.
I didn't get who the. I've seen the promo. I just didn't get who she was wrestling. They didn't put that on the promo. So
yeah, Robbie's putting her in against Shay Cassidy. Matches announced so far: Erica Reid against Shay Cassidy, as I said. Inter-Commonwealth champion Robbie Thorpe against Adam Brooks. Icons collide. That is going to be very interesting. And of course, the MCW World Championship: Ricky South versus Edward Dusk versus Caveman Ugg. Holy shit! That is going to be incredible. Do not miss out on that. When you can get there, do so. WSW, just reminding you, if you are in Adelaide has moved venues due to a scheduling clash with the AFL. The show will now be held at the Adelaide Showgrounds in the Ridley Entertainment and Convention Centre. All tickets are still valid and seating remains the same. There's been extra seating added, so if you haven't already, go out now and get your tickets. Tickets for the Pro Wrestling League with Renegades of Wrestling Australian Wrestling Super Show for tomorrow night. The last few are on sale through Austix. There's probably about 5 left.
Who knows? I don't know.
So you don't want to miss out.
I did mention to Tony Khan that you might want to get in quick because it's standing room only, mate. Can't guarantee your seat anymore. But if you wanted to crack on.
There we go. If you are in Brisbane and you don't grab yourself a ticket, you're going to really feel like you've missed out. Let's have a look at this card. We've got the OPW Women's Tag Team titles. The Backslide Girls are up against Billy Mack and Eugenie. Scramble match for the Queensland Openweight and IPW Unified Championships. EPW versus Bojack versus Ant Kava versus JJ. Furno versus Moko Kai versus Craven. Wow. This one has me intrigued. Another scramble match. It is the State of Origin scramble match. Representing Victoria, the aspirationalist Lockie Hendricks. Representing WA, the Don, Michael Morleone. Representing New South Wales, Jack J. Bonza. Representing Queensland, Bobby Bishop. And we're representing South Australia, Dean Brady. Holy fuck. What a match. That is going to be insane. I don't want to see.
I don't know if did you see this week Lockie's promo for the State of Origin?
Yeah, it was very good.
That's not at all disturbing.
It was very
not at all disturbing.
Yeah, well, he's a disturbing. Very strange, very funny. I do want to say it speaks volumes for a match when I don't want any of those people to lose. So it'll be amazing to see where it winds up. The PWL tag team ladder match. We have Strong 94 against the Dropouts, against the Ambush, against Team QWA of Trent O'Day and Sam Cannon. It's a banger as well. Our big meaty men beating the shit out of each other. This is going to be insane. The Battle of the Beasts. Rip Riley against Caveman Ugg. Shut up and take my money. It gets better. Triple threat match for the Renegades of Wrestling Women's Championship. Aisha versus Lena Cross versus Lil Mars. My goodness. And the Champions versus All-Stars 10-man tag match. The PWL champ Ricky. This is the champions. PWL champ Ricky Utomi against Levi Nixon 13, Jake Taylor, and Zach Sabbath against Yeet Stevens, Emin Usman, Matt Hayter, Jesse Love, and Edward Dusk. The champions are an amazing team, and
just like the PWL champion Ricky Tami, the Renegades of Wrestling champion Levi Nixon, the UPW champion 13, the Wrestle Rock champion Jake Taylor, the RCW Emerald Crown champion Zach Sabbath, all on one side.
Yeah.
Like champions from all around the country on one team.
Team.
I don't know. Honestly, I was thinking about this today. Has this type of thing ever been done before?
Not to my knowledge.
With this many champions from different federations,
not
with their belts representing their fed in the one building at night, in one night. That's like amazing. And Jesse and the crew at PWL to pull this off has been nothing less than a miracle for him. They're well done to him.
And well done also to Mikey, because I think Mikey's helped out on this one a lot. Like, I think I think they've worked together really closely to put this show together. I want to say that it's an incredible team of champions against the most handsome team in Australian wrestling. Like, they are all such good-looking gentlemen. It's going to be amazing. And then maybe the headliner, it's Zeke Andino versus Robbie Eagles versus Todd Eastman with Mitch Ryder in the corner.
No, say it right. Say it right. Put some respect on Mitch's name, for fuck's sake.
I will. Mitch, please don't beat me up. Zeke Andino against Robbie Eagles against Mitch Ryder with that dirty, bloody manager on the outside. That Todd Eastman guy. Ooh, I hate that Eastman.
Could be match of the year. I'm going to ruin it.
It is going to be fantastic. That is going to be something special, but earlier in the day. If you are a wrestling trainee or pro wrestlers and you're looking to sharpen your skills and gain insight from one of the best in the world, join the incredible Chris Hero for an exclusive speaking seminar at Eaton's Hill Hotel on Friday, Feb 14 at 12 p.m. $85 for a chance to learn from one of the best to ever lace up the boots. Let's be honest. All you have to do is DM 3 Count Pro Wrestling Academy on Instagram or Facebook to secure your spot. I'm sorry. Or you can email 3countprowrestling@gmail.com. It's brought to you by our friends at 3 Count Pro Wrestling in collaboration with Pro Wrestling League and Renegades of Wrestling. Thank you so much to those guys for providing that opportunity. Chris Hero is incredible. One of my favorite matches ever was the Kings of Wrestling against the Briscoe brothers, where, and this is kind of gross, so a warning, this is a bit icky. The Kings of Wrestling had that much stamina that Mark Briscoe couldn't keep his lunch in. He just leaned over the ring and just couldn't keep his lunch in. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. Tomorrow, I don't have FOMO about the AEW show. I don't. I have FOMO about the PWL Renegade show, and I have FOMO about Chris Hero. Like, who wouldn't have FOMO about Chris Hero?
Yeah. So then if you're listening to this on Friday, it's probably too late. But if you're listening to this live now, you might want to get your email off ASAP if you want to be there for it. Because not only like is it like Chris Hero, and he's like Jeff said, one of the best to ever do it, one of the best like minds in the business. He's also like currently an agent for AEW. So if you want to like get in front of someone who makes some calls with AEW, this is a perfect chance to do it if you're a wrestler.
And not only that, like you can say that AEW's storylines are disappointing because they are. Let's be honest, they are. They're not really what we want. But their matches, their in-ring, wow, fantastic. And I think that it speaks volumes that one of those road agents who puts those matches together is doing a seminar tomorrow. Anyway, but that's not all that's happening this weekend. Sure, it's the big stuff, but it's not all that's happening. Thanks to Michael Lee at Aus Wrestling Community on Facebook. We have in South Australia, Pro Wrestling South Australia, Saturday Night Showdown on Saturday, the Feb 15, Victoria, and in Bendigo, All-Star Wrestling Australia Summer Heat Tour in Bendigo. WA has Lucha Fantastica Love Battle in Perth on Friday, Feb 14. New Horizons Pro Wrestling Perth, Australia, Morley Mayhem. That's my old stomping ground on Saturday, Feb 15. Queensland, nothing. Forget Queensland. Nothing is happening. No.
She's a quiet one this weekend.
Yeah, it's a quiet one for Queensland this weekend. As our good friend Keanu says, cannot wait till AEW, especially now they have the Ring of Honor stuff too. Well, we're going to talk about that. We have the Pro Wrestling League Renegades of Wrestling Australian Super Show tomorrow night, Friday, Feb 14. Great night for Valentine's Day. Take your girlfriend to go and see some great wrestling. Rock and Roll Wrestling at the Caxton, Friday, Feb 14. PWA Pro Wrestling Australia. Emomania. I fucked that up. I didn't get to read this before now. Emomania. Ammonia. The old band, Ammonia. Emomania, Bris Vegas, Saturday, Feb 15. All Elite Wrestling. GrandSlam Australia, Saturday, Feb 15, as well as a Ring of Honor taping, and that card looks scintillating. We'll talk about that soon. And then New Japan Pro Wrestling at Tamashi, Brisbane on Sunday, Feb 16. Well, I mean, that looks great. But what was also great is that the man to my left, as I'm facing him, that way, went and met with Adam Copeland, Tony Storm, Tony Khan, and Renegade was there. So what a day for Beastie. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick break. We're going to play about 5 minutes of interviews. Stick around, and we'll be right back to talk about everything that's going on around the world of wrestling. And there's some amazing international
5
news.
minutes of 5 minutes of just little excerpts from the two of the ones I currently have my hands on, two of the interviews I currently have my hands on. Also, as an added bonus, the opening of tomorrow night's Australian Wrestling Super Show. They posted that up on the social, so I thought I would play it for you guys as well, so you get just a little taste, a little boumoir about what is going to happen tomorrow night for you if you're coming to that Super Show, and then also a little something for our boy on the right here. And we'll be back in 5 to 7 minutes right after this.
Why no Queensland? You remember that running joke? Past decade, nearly 10 years, why nothing happens in Queensland? For years, we were the forgotten ones. Cast aside, slept on. But we've put in the work to raise the standard and break the barriers that held us back. Now we're all part of the next generation of talent to carry Australian wrestling to even greater heights. Now we work alongside our brothers and our sisters from all over the country to put Australian wrestling back on the map. Tonight is not just about showcasing the best in the country, it's about telling the world who to look out for and letting you know exactly who we are. From Furno to Avery, from Cross to Kingsley, whether you ride or died or have aspirations of wanting more, it doesn't matter if you're flying first class or riding the wings of an eagle. This is the stage to be on, because we are all Australian wrestling, and this is the Australian Wrestling Super Show.
The glamour Mariah May, the top wrestler on the planet, the AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because it's like the character Timeless Toni Storm sort of reached that arc when she'd lost the title, and it was sort of like, how are they going to reheat her to come back, and the whole her coming back like almost with amnesia as the Rocker Toni Storm and doing all that stuff. Absolutely, like, I love that idea, and I kept saying on our show that, like, she's not going to become timeless until she wins the title, and then she'll reveal it was she was been acting the whole time, and this was her the best performance ever. And like, Luther would be the one that would come down and give her the belt like it was an Academy Award, and she could grab the mic and go, "You love me, you really love me." But like, this different way that you did it has been good as well. Like, especially, I think it was last week on Collision when Mariah had the girl dressed up pretty much like Tony, and you've done the switch with, like, really well done, because no one really could tell that it was a switch until the head was lifted up.
Yep.
How much of a collaborative process is that with you and Tony? And
it's very, very collaborative. I have a great relationship with Timeless Toni Storm. She's one of the greatest wrestlers and one of the greatest stars in Hollywood. And producers and stars have a great collaboration, and Toni Storm and Tony Khan have a great professional collaboration and work together very well. So I think Timeless Toni Storm is a brilliant actress, and she's been giving the performance of a lifetime. And right now, she's been on a great roll, but the person she's wrestling is the very top of the profession, the person who took that title, who took that place at the top of pro wrestling from Tony in the first place. And that's what makes Toni Storm versus Mariah May for the world champion.
Wrestling's supposed to be fun.
You know, it's gone to this place of like micro pulling apart and then rating things. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, when I went to wrestling shows, it was just to go to have fun.
Yeah. It's like the whole discourse recently with Jey Uso. I was like, I don't know, the crowd really seems to like it. Why are you complaining?
Well, there's always going to be people that just complain to complain.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not happening in their own lives.
Their own lives.
You know, broad paint strokes there, but generally speaking, you know, and it's like, just have fun. Just have fun. Like, when did it become this thing that we need to judge like the Olympics?
Yeah.
Like,
how much has that changed, like,
fun.
Wrestling for you though? Now that it's like, I just want to have fun.
I don't pay attention.
Okay.
Like, and also I'm at a stage of life where wrestling doesn't take up my life. You know, I have a family, I got 2 kids, I got responsibilities, you know, and I'm still acting, and I'm still like, there's a lot, we created a fitness product, like there are a lot of things going on. So I'm not sitting down thinking about wrestling 24/7 the way I used to.
Yeah.
And I had to then. But now, navigating from this space, you know, I'm here to have fun and here to help. That's pretty much it. And hopefully I end up doing both.
Yeah. So is that like, now that you've got all these other things now, it's sort of like, well, I'm not going to live or die if I can't wrestle anymore, because I have everything.
Well, so I think what this coming back has done is give me the chance to like go, right, now I can get out on my terms. Now I can do some of the things that I didn't get to do.
Yeah.
Now there's a new company that wasn't even around. That's really fun.
Yeah.
That could be cool. You know?
That's one of the things I love about AEW, is that it gives people options.
Sure.
And
and that's
different coats of paint, as they say.
It's just better for the entire industry.
Yeah,
if there's
100%.
more than one place to do it,
Yeah.
and better for the consumer.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I've constantly said, like, if you went to the grocery store and there was only one brand of ketchup, and that's all you could get.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd get it.
You get it, but you just say, okay.
Okay, but it's good to have choices.
Yeah.
And who says you can't just enjoy them all?
I like a good smoked hickory barbecue sauce.
Right? Like a nice maple.
Hey guys, hello Melbourne. WrestleBrania is coming back.
Renegades of Wrestling presents WrestleBrania.
WrestleBrania.
At the Melbourne International Comedy Festival 2025.
Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Join us at the Burgee Band Room, Sydney Road, Brunswick on the 30th of March, the 6th of April and the 13th of April.
And get your tickets at WrestleBrania at the Comedy Festival right now.
Tickets are on sale now. Buy ticket.
Make sure you get your tickets to it, because otherwise Mommy's going to be disappointed in you.
Wrestlers, comedians, laughter and action.
We had a blast and you will too.
Buy tickets now.
Now don't sit in your couches. Go get your tickets right now. So hurry up, or be a little loser and sit at home. Be there. Be there.
Be there.
Or else.
Or else.
There we go. That's going to be... I just want to add that tickets are already flying. Like, we are absolutely selling that one out. It is going... The tickets are going so quickly for WrestleBrania. So if you want to join us, you've got the choice of those 3 dates. We'll be announcing talent soon, but this is going to be an incredible season. We've got some new games. We've got some old games, some of your favorites, and a lot of fun this year, and some new faces as well. Really excited with some of the cast announcements that we've got coming down the pike, as they say, oldie-timey wrestling. So do not miss this year's WrestleBrania. We're going to have a fucking shit ton of fun. There's been a lot of...
Also, sorry, and also the interview with Tony and the interview with Cope, that will be up tomorrow morning on our YouTube channels, like the full interviews of those two guys.
There we go. Oh, and even if you watch us here, follow us on YouTube. Give us the follow and turn your alerts on for when new things happen, because I was putting shit up all the time. And also, we're really, really close to getting monetized. And I think, we've been doing this for 12 years. I've been part of this for almost 3. How fucking quickly has that gone?
Yeah, no.
That we're doing a 12-hour podcast this year. No, we're not. Never again. that you get this for free. Just give us a follow. Like, the hours of entertainment we give you and dickheadery and absolute buffoonery and fun we give you, just, give us a follow. Go to YouTube.
Matt Huswaite says, please tell me Tony didn't kayfabe you the entire interview, Todd. I think you'll find that if you listen to this interview with Tony, you'll realize that it's not kayfabe for Tony.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like, I was the same. I was just like, oh, okay, he's just. But even when he's not being interviewed by anyone, he is still the same. Like, the whole way through, I'm like, wow, this is not an act. Holy shit. He's like this all the time. Wow. But yeah, I really, really was happy with the Copeland interview. I think you'll find there's a couple of good little laughs in that with him and I, and yeah, the Tony interview is the Tony interview. Tony is very well media trained. There's not too much that you will get out of Tony, even though you do. Like, there are a couple of times I tried to throw some questions at him, but like, that man's had some training. Let me just put it that way. He's had some training.
No surprise there at all. But AEW are an international company, so it's time we move on and have a quick chat about some international wrestling. Firstly, and most importantly, is that our leader, Wrestle Louise, says hello from the US. Wrestle Louise, where are you in the US? We had someone from Texas.
I think it's Wrestle Lulz.
Oh, Wrestle Lulz. You can understand why I said Louise, because it looks like...
Yeah, I can. I had to go like that.
Yeah, Wrestle Lulz. Where are you in the US, mate? Because we, as I said, we had someone from Texas last week, so always good to get...
I think they're actually coming... It could
Midwest.
be that I think that person is actually coming to the show.
Oh, well, there you go.
The one that was in Texas? I'm pretty sure Welshie said something like he was going to catch up with him.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
yeah. So, the important thing to know is that your moral and my moral compass, Kevin Owens, has re-signed with WWE for 5 years. This pleases me greatly because I think the work he's doing at the moment is brilliant. So good.
Yeah, if you were Kevin Owens and they were presenting you like this at the moment, why wouldn't you re-sign?
You would not go anywhere.
Really? Why wouldn't you?
You would not go anywhere. It's the closest we've had to Ring of Honor Kevin Steen. And I think that makes him happy and us happy, really. All right. Ricky Starks has appeared at NXT like literally hours after it was announced he was gone from AEW. He was on the NXT show. He recently also won the Defy Championship. I think this is incredible.
Yeah.
I really do.
And I have a theory too, because like all the news and things are going. Notice they never said his name. They're going to change his name. They never said his name. I almost think this is just a ploy. Like, I think he's still going to be Ricky Starks, but they got so much free press out of people saying they didn't mention his name. They didn't talk about his name. Like, so much free press for really doing nothing, because he still said absolute. He's still like the absolute part is still very much part of the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice little promo for him in the open there of his opening spot in NXT. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, just because I think isn't there a NXT show this weekend?
Yes,
as well on Sunday.
On Sunday for us. Well, one thing I found really interesting was the three of us have a chat, and you said something like, "Wow, that was quick," and I hadn't seen the show at that point. And Lachlan backed you up, and I was like, "Okay, something happens really quick." Well,
but for those of you that don't know, with Jeff, we have to be very, very careful with spoilers. He gets very put out if you spoil anything. So some messages I put in our chat are very cryptic.
Yes, and I don't read results, as you know, so that's why I like it being cryptic. And thank you, I do appreciate that. But you said, "Wow, that was quick," or something like that, or sudden. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
So, wow, I think it was like, wow, they didn't waste any time, did they?
Wow, they didn't waste any time. I thought you were referring to Zarya because she ran over Nikita Lyons so quickly. And I was like, oh, yeah, that must be what they mean. And, of course, an hour later, Ricky Stark shows up. So that was quite funny. This is something to have a bit of a chat about at length. So WWE have released or aren't re-signing the following wrestlers. Let's talk about where we think they could end up. Cedric Alexander. Now, I think Cedric is going to wind up in AEW as part of the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, you would think so.
You would. Paul Ellering, I think, sadly, Paul is now at the point where age is against him, and I think he's just basically going to lead into retirement.
Well, I think him and the Authors of Pain are looking to do something else. Whether or not they'll get something else is just totally different.
Well, that leads us to the Authors of Pain and see Paul Ellering. The next one really does surprise me, and that is Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
I don't know where she'd go.
Yeah, and I think I kind of think that she'd already hit her ceiling.
Yes.
In WWE.
Yes, I agree with you.
Like, she might have been a really good manager if they'd actually moved into that direction with her, but they sort of like in and out of the manager thing. Then she was like the trio with the Pure Fusion Collective, and I think they kind of realized, well, we've got two really good wrestlers in the Pure Fusion Collective anyway, with Shayna and Zoe. We don't really need Sonya because Shayna can talk.
Yeah, and so can Zoe. Zoe's not a bad talker.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Blair Davenport, I think we'll see her in Japan. Like, she's already saying it.
Oh, yeah. Blair is one of those ones that's got a lot more options than other people. Same with the next one, Isla Dawn.
Isla Dawn, absolutely.
Because the beauty of, for them anyway, Blair and Isla Dawn is they've got a whole other country that they can go and work in, where they're already established.
If you haven't seen what Lyra Valkyria said, it is both hilarious and quite touching. She said, you'll always know when Isla Dawn is in a locker room before you see her because you'll hear her and smell her.
Yeah.
And she's just taking the piss out of her, but she's also saying how much she's going to miss her. And it's kind of lovely. Giovanni Vinci now, I think his gimmick, since like the whole rich Italian guy, kind of didn't work, but they didn't really give it long. They gave it like 2 shots and then went, yeah, you're going. But I don't know where he's going to end up.
Maybe don't hit on your tag partners, misses.
Yeah, well,
maybe.
That's also a bad idea. Allegedly. The next one, well, Anderson and Gallows will wind up in Japan, surely, at worst.
Who knows? The weird thing is, and the unusual thing is, that Carl is currently injured. And WWE normally aren't in the practice of releasing people that are that are still injured. They tend to wait till they're good to go, and then you're good to go. Okay, we're gonna have to release you now, mate.
Yeah.
But they've done this. But mind you, I don't know when the last time both of those guys wrestled. So
NXT.
They've been collecting checks for quite a while. Yeah, it was NXT, but I don't know when the last time was. So both of them have been collecting checks for quite a while without actually doing anything. And I don't think they were really fussed about it either way. Either. They weren't really kick up and stink about not being used. They were just like, I'm staying home.
Well, their podcast was so entertaining. At least the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to go back and do their podcast, which was hilarious.
Yeah, I think Sean Ross Sapp said it was like damn you WWE. Now we're probably going to get another Talking Shop Mania,
which is awesome. They're so funny. They're so funny. And finally, Elektra Lopez. I mean, yeah, sure. I don't think she's going to wind up. I mean, she might wind up as a backstage interviewer somewhere, but I can't see her wrestling.
Yeah, she's one of those ones that never really got a shot.
No, she didn't, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few releases. I mean, yeah, if you listen to some of the people online, it's because there were people of color or people who, and you throw Vink in there as well, or people that are on the LGBTQIA community. I don't think any of that's true. I think it's just the way the cards fell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a WWE thing. I think this is a TKO thing.
Yeah,
where they're going, when's the last time these people worked?
Yeah.
Then why are we paying them this when they're just sitting at home?
So now we will move over to. There were other bits of news and pieces. It looks like the WrestleMania card is starting to take some shape, and it's going to be really, really interesting. There was a beautiful segment with Jay and Gunther on Monday. That was just
how well framed was that attack?
That was so beautifully done. It was so beautifully done. And according to Tim Wilkes, which I'm sure is, he's just mentioned that Josh Matthews was released by TNA as well. Who replaces him at the desk in TNA?
He wasn't on the desk.
No.
He was working backstage.
Yeah, he was a producer.
Yeah,
he hasn't been
him, and also his wife left the company, and their CEO or something like that. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but like Josh, if you didn't know, Josh Matthews was pretty high up in the organizational chart at TNA.
So Fightful Select have confirmed that Ricky Starks and Miro are no longer under contract at AEW. Added to that, of course, is Malachi Black. Where do you think Ricky's going to wind up, Todd?
Oh, I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah,
Miro?
I think Miro, if he just wants to stay where, because I think he's back in his home country, isn't he?
Yeah, he went back to Romania, Bulgaria.
Yeah, so unless he wants to stay there, then I can see him just coming back to WWE. I can see them doing good things.
So can I, because Trips clearly liked the guy. He gave him a hell of a push in.
But then it's like, I don't want to say that old trope that we always say. Oh, he should go to TNA. He should go to AEW. He should go to WWE. There's so many people on roster. I just don't know. I don't know. Like they could, like Miro could, but would he get used as much as what he was getting used at AEW? I just don't know because it's so stacked. There's so many people there.
Yeah.
And they don't even run now. Nowadays, they don't even run Raw for 3 hours. Raw goes for 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, but they could always pull another show on Netflix. That's a fact as well. Interestingly enough, it's going to be. I think with Malachi or Tommy End, it is not a question of if he shows up in WWE, but a question of when. And
I mentioned to you off online. That,
I like this.
That Chad Gable in his promo this week on Raw said, was it this week or last week? It's one or the other. I can't remember. He was pretty much left it up to the rest of American Made to go and do something. He's like, I'm off to learn the dark arts.
Yeah.
And for those of you that maybe know, maybe don't know, Tommy End's wrestling training school is called Dark Arts Academy. So whether or not that's a foreshadow of he's bringing in Malachi Black to take care of the Penta problem, I don't know.
Yep. Here's the current lineup for Grand Slam, in case you're wondering, in case you're living under a tree or Tony is. Was it true Andrade was let go? No.
I think the only person he was let go by was Charlotte.
Yeah, I think he and Charlotte have called it a day, but that's about it.
Yeah, she didn't renew his contract.
Here's the current lineup for Grand Slam. TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Harley Cameron. That'll be a thing. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay against Konosuke.
Look, that has been very entertaining in the league.
Oh, because of Harley.
Yeah, Harley's been great.
She's so funny. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay against Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. I mean, this could go either way.
Yeah. Talking to Kyle today, Kyle's pumped. Kyle's very, very excited, and he knows where he's stepping into. We're talking I said to him, I said, the beauty of it is that you're stepping in the ring with three of the best wrestlers in the world, and you don't look out of place.
No, he doesn't. A very talented young man and a very nice guy, Kyle Fletcher. The AEW Continental Championship is on the line. Kazuchika Okada will defend against Buddy Matthews. That's going to have awesome written all over it.
Yeah, that's the sleeper match for me. And I know that sounds stupid saying a Okada match is a sleeper match, but it's one that not a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah.
And every time we've seen Buddy step in the ring with a Seth Rollins, a Roman Reigns, a Will Ospreay, he brings it. He brings it. And the last time we saw him wrestling in Australia was in Melbourne, winning the Cruiserweight Championship. And I'm hoping that's the same sort of like feeling in the crowd as there was when he did it last time, because that was one of my top 10 feelings like in wrestling, was being in that crowd when he won that title. So, and I don't think he's winning, but I just want to see the match.
I think the match is going to be phenomenal. Your AEW Women's World Champion, Mariah May, is defending against timeless Toni Storm. I mean, I think that's absolutely a title change. I don't think there's any way that Mariah's winning.
And I know for a fact that Tony is trying to talk Tony Khan into letting her do the world's. She wants to break the world record for the nut bush. So, one of my most surreal moments in wrestling, I think, happened today, where in between filming interviews, there was Toni Storm and Kyle Fletcher showing Tony Khan how to do the nut bush.
Yeah.
And I think on my bingo card of things I would see in wrestling, that would be one I would never have seen.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe we get that, or maybe we don't. Maybe we just get the hometown girl coming back to win a title, and it's going to be amazing. Either way, it's going to be fucking amazing.
I think it's going to be great. And then Jay White and Cope against John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli in a Brisbane brawl. This is going to be fantastic as well. It's a little top to bottom.
The funny thing is, too, like when I talked to Cope today, he's never worked John Moxley.
No shit.
Yeah, I thought, but then maybe like Shield didn't cross over with his injury.
No, because he would have been retired by the time the Shield came, like by about 18 months.
Yeah, so this is the first time that they're touching as well. So it's going to be
That's going to be amazing for Australia. Alex Fireheart hopes that Tony Mariah is the main event. Yeah, I think it will be.
I think it pretty much will be.
Let's have a look at the Ring of Honor Global Wars taping that is going to occur.
All announced today, by the way. This slew of matches were all dropped today.
By request for Wrestle Lulz. Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith, or the Learning Tree, are going up against Bandito.
Hi, guys.
Sorry?
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Fuck off, Chris. Retire already. Are going up against Bandito and the Outrunners of Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. I don't care who wins that. Sorry. That's the one match on this show where I'm like, well, I'd be going to the toilet. Let's leave that till later. Our women's Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena is going to defend against Alex Windsor. Athena is doing the work of her career right now. She is absolutely phenomenal. She's had that belt.
Those of you that don't know, Alex Windsor is a UK worker who's also like Will Ospreay's missus.
Yeah.
And very good worker. Very good worker. Don't let me say like the fact that that's her missus is the reason why she's there. She's a very good worker in her own right.
Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara will defend the titles, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, against the M&M collection of Mansoor and Madden. Boy, have those titles fallen. Again,
hey, I like Dustin.
I think Dustin's great.
In doses.
But can he carry the other three to a good match? No, well, Sammy's good. Sammy's a good worker. Just don't need to see him. And then, also announced today, some bloke called Bob. If you're listening, sorry, Robbie. Todd made me say it. The Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Lee Moriarty is defending his title against one of the best to ever lace the boots, Robbie Eagles. That's going to be phenomenal. Robbie will not put on bad matches, especially on a big occasion.
Yeah, I'm like, unfortunately, be coming in after an L, but still.
Yeah. We have some more. So I think it's going to be a great show. I think people going on Saturday will have a good time. I think it's going to be a long show. Make sure you drink lots. Make sure you look after yourselves, look after each other. Don't jump the railing. Don't be those dickheads. Just watch and enjoy the show. And if you do jump the railing, expect to get your fucking head kicked in. Because there aren't one of those guys and gals that can't look after themselves. All of those people look after themselves very, very, very well. Alex Firehart said, someone in a Discord server said, a Discord server I'm in, it was sad we're not getting Athena against Jessica Troy.
You might have if she wasn't injured. She's only just come out of the boot.
Yeah, she's still got a crook foot. So there's some New Japan Pro Wrestling news. There was some New Japan champions crowned at NJPW New Beginning in Osaka. Naito and Takahashi defeated the Young Bucks to become the IWGP World Tag Team Champions. Hooray, the reign of terror is over. Thankfully, it's fucking brief. I don't like this. I'm going to go on record now as saying that I don't like this. That very young, new, up-and-coming wrestler, Hiroki Goto, has defeated ZSJ to win the IWGP World Championship. I don't like it. I'm not happy about this because, Zach's money.
Do you know what the worst thing about this is? Do you know who his next two, who Hiroki Goto's next two challenges are for that title?
Who?
It's Tanahashi and then Yuji Nagata.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not extremely plugged into New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I don't know. Has Goto had some sort of resurgence I don't know about where everyone's happy to win that?
It's nothing against Goto the wrestler. He's a fine wrestler. It's just that the New Japan dads are now becoming the main event. Like Nagata, Tanahashi. We don't need to see these guys in the main event anymore.
Yeah, I was shocked when I heard that too. I was like, I can't believe that they're doing that. But then I suppose they don't want Hiroki Goto to lose in his first match, and to do that, put him up against Tsuji, and just have him lose. You've got to maybe build it to something else. So they've got two little shows. Let's put, I can understand Tanahashi. It's his last year. Have him have another title shot. Why not? Yuji Nagata though, I don't get.
Well, I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. can get a good match out of a handkerchief. So there's no reason to take the belt off him, in my opinion. Yeah. There's a lot going on this weekend. If you are in Queensland and Brisbane, please enjoy yourself, behave yourself, be nice to each other, don't be dickheads. That's my simple message. I'm not going to be coming up. I'm a bit sad. As I said, more so for the Aus Wrestling Super Show. If you are going to the Aus Wrestling Super Show tomorrow night, make a shit ton of noise. Have so much fun. That is one hell of a fucking show. It is rare that we get that much talent in one show. It's going to be fabulous. Well done to both Jesse and Mikey for pulling that together, and everybody you work with. He's going to be humble, but including this bloke to my left as I am watching, and including the bloke that's usually in the middle who'll be doing commentary tomorrow night. I'm so excited for both of you guys. You deserve everything and all of the success that is coming your way.
And if you see us after the show, come up and say hi. Because I'm not going to be a bad guy after the show. During the show, you can boo the shit out of me. After the show, come up and say hi.
Yeah. And if you're around Melbourne, like I am, sorry, I wish you could have gotten out. But I have a tour coming up. I have tour dates, as most people know. Don't forget also Kickout merch at kickout.com.au for merch of your favourite Queensland and other wrestlers around the country. If you want your merch on the site, contact them through their Insta page. Go to Kickout Merch on Instagram and contact them. There's some social media stuff to talk about. We are Wrestle Radio AU or Wrestle Radio Australia on all of your social media.
Yeah. Again, he's got you there, brother. What's the name of the show?
That I'm touring?
No, that we're doing.
Oh, the Aus Wrestling Super Show.
No. What's the name of the
This
show we're currently doing now, live around the country and around the world?
Oh, Todd Eastman and his best friend. No, it's Making Chicken Salad.
There we go. THC's
Making Chicken Salad. Each and every Thursday night we are here. So we cannot wait to see you. We're going to be back next week. We're going to be talking, obviously, about all things to do with the Aus Wrestling Super Show and the AEW weekend. But do not go anywhere. We are not done yet. There is lots of social media stuff. So we have Todd Eastman at Beast Eastman.
Mate, you didn't get the clue at all, did you?
Right.
What's the name of the show?
Hang on. I was going to come back to it. But anyway.
You weren't. You weren't. You were wrapping it up. Don't fucking lie. You were wrapping it up.
No, I wasn't. I was going to say.
And you just completely forgot. No, you weren't. No.
It would be so good if you followed us on our socials. It would be Chicken Salad. So we got to talk about the good and bad. We're going to talk about the good and bad each and every week here on the show. Todd, because I can't throw to Lachlan first, what haven't you liked this week?
I haven't liked the fact that I have a guy that jumps in and says, I'm going to host the show, and then forgets to do what the show's named all after. That's pretty fucking shit.
No, he didn't. He didn't at all.
I'm out here busting my hump, going all around the city, having to talk to Tony Khan, having to talk to Adam Copeland. I remember to do that. I remember to talk to Tony Storm. I remember to talk to Kyle Fletcher. You got one job, brother. What was chicken shit? What was chicken salad this week, mate? Completely forgot. It's on the top of the screen. It's right up. Look up. Look up.
I didn't.
Look up.
I remember.
Look up.
I can see it there. I remember. It's perfect.
That's my chicken shit for this week.
You're accusing me of something that isn't true. And my chicken shit is the fact that you're accusing me of something that isn't true.
No. Because you know I was right.
Actually, my chicken shit is it's wrestling parochialism again. It's WWE dyed-in-the-wool fans not accepting, like being really obnoxious about AEW being there. I've heard people go, "Oh, there's nothing in Queensland about it." Oh, and I know I asked the question earlier, and yes, it's limited, but that might not be on AEW. That might have something to do with the Tourism Commission. It might have something to do with dainties. It might have something to do with a lot of different things. I want people, wrestling is wrestling. We love the sport of wrestling. It's what we're passionate about. It's why we're here in Making Chicken Salad, talking about the things we like each week and the things we don't like each week. Now, if you are going to be parochial about what you like, great. Enjoy what you enjoy, but don't insult others and don't insult people's choices. And my other chicken shit, and I echo exactly what Matt Huswaite just wrote, and that is Eamon's visa situation. It is so sad. It is such a shame. I wish I had a job open and we could sponsor him at my work, but we can't. We just don't have it. So yeah, it's really, really tough to see someone as talented and as good and as lovely a human being as Eamon. And you know, the fact he still works with Carlo and he still loves Carlo so much speaks volumes for him. Wild Angel, too much chicken shit for the week. Too much good wrestling coming up. Not enough time and fuel to go see it all. Alex Fiehart, their chicken shit is AEW randomly dropping the, oh, right, we're doing an ROA's taping, lol, days prior because, like, way to bury the lead.
Like, if you've seen ROH for the past 2 years, that's not the lead.
Yeah.
Like, ROH is their tape show.
It's their red-headed stepchild. But yeah, I think if people can just be wrestling fans and let others be wrestling fans, the world will be much better. I asked the question earlier if there was anything up because I had seen social media complaints about people going, "Oh, there's nothing around the town," and I wanted to know
there isn't. They're like,
if it was improved. And unfortunately, it hasn't,
which
is a shame.
But then, yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame because you've still got those random people who'd go, "Oh, wrestling's on? Yeah, I'll buy a ticket and go and see it."
Also, Tim Wilkes says the Brisbane traffic is shit. Mate, you're from Sydney? Shut up.
Yeah, I got to agree with Todd. But I didn't forget anything about anything. Let's just clarify that. But what I won't forget are good things. Good things, good things, good things. Your chicken salad. It's what makes you tick. And what makes you go. Todd, what was your chicken salad this week?
My chicken salad this week has just been the buzz around my immediate group, if that makes sense. The buzz around the guys like at 3 Count Academy and everywhere in Queensland wrestling is they're really, really keen to get out there and just show like what they've been working for a long time. Like Bobby's intro to that show perfectly encapsulates how we've been feeling. Like, and it was a really, really well done piece. So yeah, I cannot wait for this weekend. I cannot wait for people to actually get to see what the group up here have been working for a long time.
My chicken salad, I mean, obviously you saw the promo earlier, WrestleBrania. It is so exciting to be back in a brand new venue, the Birchie Band Room. We're really excited with great pizza from Munchies across the road. You don't want to miss that. I also would really, really like to shout out the match between Io Sky, Dakota Kai going up against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, specifically Liv Morgan. What a fucking performer she's become. She got opened hard way and didn't like even flinch. The match kept going. She showed she's gutsy. She showed she's got so much oomph and so much style. So really, really becoming a big fan of Liv Morgan. And I thought the match was excellent. I also would like to shout out, by the same token, I want to shout out wrestling fans who are around Brisbane right now and are going to have a great weekend. Good on you. Go have fucking a great time. Have the best time. Just enjoy. Alex Fireheart's chicken salad, Zach versus Gutter, regardless of what we think on who won. That match was really good and had them hooked. Not to mention they crammed a lot into literally a few seconds over 20 minutes. Didn't feel bloated. Felt it went on exactly as it should have been. Wild Angel 2, who would have thought that 10 years ago we were working in front of 50 people in a rundown theatre, selling out the hotel in the lead up to the second biggest promotion in the world. That's amazing. That's beautiful.
There's actually when I talked to Kyle, we were talking about it, and we slipped in a cheeky plug for the Super Show, and he was yelling at me because I could not for the life of me remember how they could get tickets. So I was like, just go to the Facebook, look up Pro. You don't know what it is. I was so close to going, hey mate, we've sold all of our tickets. How are you doing?
Yeah.
So close to doing it, didn't do it because he's very large.
I'd like to mention on that, Todd, you would not catch me asking wrestlers to shoot promos on any of my private ventures. I think that's a conflict of yeah. Anyway, so back to there's the salad. There's the shit. You know what is solid is the fact that you join us each and every week here on twitch.tv/WrestleRadio.au. You can also get some merch. You can go around with wearing some clothes, not only of your favorite wrestlers, but also of us. Just go to Redbubble and look up Wrestle Radio Australia. We've still got our 10th anniversary T-shirt for sale. We've also got other T-shirts. We've got all kinds of things for sale. But the money doesn't come to us. No. It goes to two very important charities. It goes to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life. You know what else is important? Giving us a good review. Following us on YouTube, as I mentioned earlier, get us a little bit more cash so Todd doesn't have to mortgage his house for the 16th time to produce this every month.
For the last 12 years, I've had to sell my hair.
Yeah. Todd actually has luxurious long hair, but
you wouldn't know, but I've got to sell it.
He's selling it. That's very funny, Todd. You can give us a 5-star review. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. X. It's X now. You can follow Todd on @BeastEastman. You can follow Lachlan Albert on @My fucking internet doesn't work and I'm pissed off about it. No, follow him @Lachlan Albert. You can follow me on @Wrestle_Brania. You can also check me out on Blue Sky. I'm on there as well, because fuck Elon Musk. Also, WrestleBrania, we are going to be in Adelaide on the 14th through the 17th of March. That is just 1 month away. 4 weeks. We're going to be announcing talent really, really soon. You will not believe who we've got. We've also, and these tickets are moving so quickly, we are blown away, Melbourne. We're going to be in the Burgee Band Room for 3 weeks, the 30th of March, the 6th, and the 13th of April. The 30th of March is at 8 p.m. 6th and 13th of April is at 7. And we cannot wait to do this one more time with you in the room. So, for the guy who forgot what to do earlier on, to do the chicken salad and chicken shit bit, Todd, why did you do that? I just want to say that it's been really fun being here tonight. We'll see how long Lachlan's around for next week. I've been Jeff Setti. See you down the road.
Enjoy your weekend, people.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken.